Watch your favorite TV you want, how you want, with your favorite people. Here's how it works. Log on to Facebook.com/TV33WHPR. Blue WHPR logo on the left. Like us. Click the word videos with the red tag that says live next to it. Then click the share button at the bottom of the video player and select start a watch party. Invite whoever you want. Your party will be recorded and archived for playback anytime you want. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. At the end of the month, the viewer that has the most people at their watch party will be invited on the TV show live. Come on, let's have a party.
Pick up your copy of the Son of Man Speaks magazine today. With the Son of Man Speaks magazine, you'll receive automotive tips, wholesome recipes, financial advice, and most importantly, a true understanding of the Word of God. Get your copy. Grade 2, 18070 Mount Elliott, the Shell gas station, 13110 West 7 Mile Road. To get a subscription, call 601-786-9788. That's 601.
Graphic Design provides agency quality professional graphic design companies to startups and individuals, creating a simple logo to complete rebranding and delivering visual communication with print. Everything SOS Graphic Design does has a single unifying objective to set your business apart. We are at your service. Call 313-366. That's 313-342. Or online at www.sosgraphicdesigns.com.
Well, we're moving on now to the side.
Come check out the new Sisters Braid Hair Braiding and Natural Hair Care Salon, located at 18070 Mount Elliott Street. Our new salon is spacious with adequate parking, Wi-Fi, and all brand new state-of-the-art. Your local hair braiders and natural hair care specialists, and check out our many hair care services such as hair treatments, box braids, cornrows, tree braids. Call 313-826-0498. Here at Sisters Braid 2, we offer exceptional care for exceptional hair. We look forward to seeing you. Sisters Braid 2 is a proud recipient of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund.
We would like to invite you to help support the efforts of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. Visit the website and track the progress of the Unity and Rebuilding. 0000 is a local 3868-0000. Support the Unity and Rebuilding Fund.
Have you ever searched through a shelf full of greeting cards and still couldn't find the one that echoes how you felt? Well, search no more and call 958. We offer birthday cards. Our cards are keepsake items that your recipient will want to place on their mantle with other beautiful and treasured items. We also offer holiday cards. 958, no holiday will go unnoticed. Our unique greeting cards are sure to celebrate all holidays. We also have
GPR Detroit.
You're watching WHPR Park, Detroit.
.1 WHPR, Highland Park. WVIE 107.3 FM Charlotte, Amalia, Virgin.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, sponsors.
Brothers and
Conference recording started. Conference recording. The recording is started.
If you're reasonably sure, have you ever tested that what you feel you know with someone that has a different view than your own? Then let's talk. Then let's reason with one another on a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man every Wednesday at 9 p.m., Friday at 9 p.m., and Sunday at 12 noon on WHPR TV Detroit Live, 88.1 FM WHPR, and Comcast Cable. Why don't you call and this yours and their true meaning? You can call that live on the air at area code 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 313-868-0351. That's 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 313-868-0351. Scriptural Discussion.
The most merciful, the truthful, and the most just. I greet all of you once again who are hungry and thirsty for Allah's righteousness. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's salam alaikum. Before I get into today's this evening's subject matter, I want to give those who have some disagreement with us give you the opportunity to question us and express to us what your disagreement with us is.
Yes, sir. You have a question here from a sister. Her screen name is Keto If Mentally Fit Motivation. And
That's a mighty long name. Keto If Mentally Fit Motivation.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's hear it.
And she says, "Peace, sir. I'm very happy to learn the lessons that were taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in regards to the political realm not being confident in the words of many politicians. I would like to know and learn what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught regarding our stance as it pertains to politics."
Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he didn't, as he said, we are trying, when they was introducing some of the guests, they had a politician was there. He said, well, we know that politics have to come into it somewhere, someplace. He said, but we don't want the politics of this world. He said, of who can rob the other one the quickest and get the most. He said, we are trying to make for you a clean temple of politics, trying to clean up the minds of people so that, as the scripture refers to us as the temple of God, well, the clean temple of politics means the cleaning up of the minds of people so that they will be moral they will be morally upright, which is they will be righteous in their conduct. And when they take the oath to do the right thing, for instance, to uphold and defend the Constitution and the rights of the citizens granted them by the Constitution. And when they give their word, they will keep their word. A Muslim's word is his bond, meaning whatever he put his word on, he stick to that. His yes is yes. His no is no. And this world they don't mind lying to you. You see, they just elected some of these people, half the country voted for a known liar to be president again. And when he didn't win, when he didn't get the majority vote, then he told a lie again, and they pushed that. And so we don't want no such politics. I don't want to participate in such things. But you can also see in the current president, the one who is president now, that the man has scruples. The man does not have in his skull a bottomless pit. You notice that's what the brain is. It's a pit inside of our skull. And this is one of the reasons why we say the devil is the angel of the bottomless pit. He's the messenger of the bottomless pit. Why? You know, angel is messenger of God, messenger of the word. You notice the only ones who can claim to be messengers of the word are men and women. Words are not found in animals. They make sounds, but they don't make sounds that we can refer to as words. Because in order to form words, you must be able to reason and create thought. Animals are not able to create. Animals are on a program. They have been already pre-programmed. And so this is why we are able as creators, as men who and women who can create, we are able to wind up mastering creatures that are much stronger than us, that are bigger than us, that could destroy us if they could create. But they can't create. They are animated malcontents. An animal cannot make himself contented. Even when you look at remember, we didn't get this language from white people. We got it back from white people because we the one gave it to them in the first place. But he ain't gonna say nothing. If he come in here, I'll ask him the meaning of certain words, and then you'll know that he can't even find it in his dictionary. But the fact of the matter is, it's time now that you know the truth. Animal is a abbreviation or acronym for animated malcontent. And you notice, you look at some of them nature movies, while the zebra and all of them down at the water hole drinking, he can't relax. He's always looking. If they're eating, they're always looking. Looking for what? looking for who go eat them. So, and the lion, he ain't so much as looking to see who gonna eat him, but he's always wondering where his next meal gonna come from. And so he's never content. He cannot make himself content. Of course, now we can put him in a reserve or put him in a zoo, and we can make him content. Of course, when we do that, we change in his nature. Do you understand? The nature in which he was fashioned to be able to go out and hunt and kill his food and whatnot. But you can make him eat straw like an ox after a while, because you can change his diet if you know how. But anyway, we are we don't get into the politics in the way that people in this world get into it. But politics throughout the earth is going through a metamorphosis now. You are at the beginning of a whole new world. And America was the beginning of that. You see, a lot of people don't understand that. But when you look at the Constitution, and especially the preamble to the Constitution, it's not hard to see that America, the nation, a country that they and its government, the founders of it and the owners of it, which is Caucasian people, they refer to America as the grand experiment or the great experiment. Why is it a great experiment? It's an experiment instead of conqueror and conquered, which has been the order of the day for the past 6,000 years. It is an experiment in the equality of all human beings. The idea of equality for all human beings. And so this is why it's called the Great Experiment, because their maker, Jacob or Jacob, he didn't teach them to be uh, kind and considerate of others. He taught them to go out and subdue the earth and to conquer. And that's what, just like people see the crescent and star. When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad brought that crescent and star that's to your right, the crescent and star to your left had been around here for, back thousands of years ago. And if you notice, you saw the crescent and star in America a long time, but you saw it over Masonic halls, and you saw it in the Masonic teachings, and they have been ruling. And the secret that they was not going to divulge was that the true religion of God is Islam, and God's name is Allah. They wasn't going to tell you that. They were told to go and be like God, and that's what they have been. So they made them up a religion and called it Christianity, and they know you didn't look deep into nothing. It's easy to mislead people who are ignorant. An ignorant man is not going to ask too many questions, but you can tell him just about anything and he'll take it in, especially if you feeding him, clothing him, and sheltering him. He'll take what you say as gospel. He will take what you say and never get no proof of it, but he will believe it till he dies. So that's what they have been able to do. The world have been asleep. The white man and some of the other ones who ruling, they have been awake. They have been woke, and they've been ruling over the dead, over the ignorant, you see. But the truth has now come, and the falsehood must vanish. And so the messenger, when he said that we are trying to make a clean temple of politics for you, and that's what he meant. He meant he was trying to clean up our minds so that if and when we gain authority over others, we will not be abusive. We will be just what the scripture says. He that is greatest among you should be the servant of all. You see. And so we gain just like the power that I have to lead and guide people. I serve my followers. They don't serve me. I serve them. They don't know how to serve me unless I tell them how to serve me. And then when I tell them how to serve me, they wind up serving themselves, because I'm not telling them to do stuff for me. I'm telling them what to do for themselves in order to get respect and in order to free themselves from the yoke of bondage of 400 years. You see? And it's just like me. I can speak for hours and hours and hours. And the rulers of this world will never open their mouth to say anything to me. That's how you know I'm free. You see, I'm not nobody's slave. And if I'm free, I know how to set you free. You see, it's not it's not a one of us that can claim freedom if we are still doing things that wind up being our destruction. You're a slave to sin. You're a slave to your sinful mind. And until your mind is free from sin, you are always going to be the servant of the deviser of illusion, of a mind that devises illusions for you. We say devil. You are the servant of the devil, the deviser of illusion. You see. So, I tell all of you, just like I went out and I voted for Joseph Biden for president of the United States. It is not intelligent. It would not be intelligent on my part to say I'm not going to take part in the politics of this world when the politics of this world affect me and my people. So if I see someone, even the messenger, he encouraged when Julian Bond and some of them was running, the messenger spoke well of them, and I think Adam Clayton Powell even. He encouraged the believers to support them. Support people who are trying to do something good for you. Support them. So you have people that only hear what they want to hear. It's just like you have some people that all they want to hear is white man is the devil, period. And if you saying anything different than that, they don't want to hear it. Even though the messenger, he gave us a lesson. He said, are there any Muslims other than righteous? And the answer was, I beg your pardon? I've never heard of one. Okay. Well, if he never heard of a Muslim other than a righteous Muslim, he also told us in 74 in his last Savior's Day address, he said there are white Muslims in America, and lots of them. Well, this tells you that being a devil got more to do than we thought it had to do with. Because we thought being in white skin made you devil. Well, was Master Farad Muhammad a devil? His skin is white. Prophet Muhammad, was Prophet Muhammad a devil? His skin was white. No, it don't go like that. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the wicked mind that's in the flesh and blood. A doctor is not a doctor because of what color he is. He's a doctor because of the knowledge that he has in his head. So you best hurry up and grow up. You best hurry up and let me help you grow up. That's what the Son does. It helps things grow up. Well, I'm the Son of Man, and I'm here to help you all grow up. I was looking at the Justice Department is suing Georgia for their unjust interference with people trying to vote. Now, in reality, they don't even have to sue them. In reality, they could arrest them because they are violating the Constitution. I mean, let me show you here now. Look at this. This is why I told you that America was the beginning of the new world. And if you know anything about all good things, they always have trouble in their infancy. Everything that is strong started off weak. Huh? That mighty oak tree was once a twig. That lion that they called the king of the jungle, when he was a cub, he was weak as a pussycat. Huh? Yes. But he grew to strength. You know, everything that is great, if you trace its history teaches you a good lesson. And the lesson is in weakness, there is lessons that you learn to attain strength. It's just like me. The reason I'm able to shut the mouths of people now that try to argue with me is because back in 1975, when I discovered who I am, I was arguing with people that didn't believe me. And some of those arguments, I didn't lose, but I didn't win, which made me have to go and study some more. So my mind was not nearly as strong back in 75 as it is now in 2021. And it wouldn't have got that strong if I had ran away from people who disagreed with me. A man called me today, accusing me. He said he met some sisters that said they was following me, the Son of Man. And he said they said that when he asked them about the Quran, they say he don't teach us out the Quran. He does that. And so before I could tell him, no, there wasn't no followers of mine, he started telling me what's going to happen to me. And I tried to reason with the poor boy, but he wouldn't hardly let me get a word in. He just a fussy. And so when I finally told him, I said, look, if they told you that they ain't following me. That's not true. And he ignored what I said. He kept on telling me what was going to happen to me. And so I finally got fed up with him because it was getting on my nerves, especially with him raising his voice to me. And so I say, I tell you what, I'm going to do to you just what the Holy Quran said to. Cast into hell every ungrateful, rebellious one. He said, where's that? Where's that? Well, you fussing at me about knowing the Holy Quran. You don't know where that's at? Well, you go find it. Because to hell with you. And I threw him in hell. So now in order for him to get out, he's going to have to call me back and apologize. And if he don't, like I said, you don't. The first thing you do, even in this unjust world, when they accuse you of something, if the district attorney charge you with something, they come back with an arraignment. And in the arraignment, they say to you, you have been charged with this or you've been charged with that. Now, what do you have to say about it? How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty? And then you get a chance to say, well, I didn't do that. If you didn't, then if they don't believe you, then that's what you go to court for. You understand? And in the eyes of the court, it don't make no difference what the police saying. But when you come into court, the court assumes you innocent until those who charge you prove that you were guilty. Huh? All right. Yeah. So, you grew up in this world and don't know and didn't learn nothing. You wasn't even faithful to the natural man, the natural ruler that God put in charge of the earth. Yeah, he can see I was faithful to him. You see, why did we make the devil? Because we wanted to get the experience of being up under the control of a weaker part of ourselves. In other words, we wanted to learn something about flesh and blood, and about the natural creation, the weak part of ourselves. So you notice, when I go to explaining their laws, no, I'm cutting here and saying, you don't know what you're talking about. What? His law ain't over my head, but my word is over his head. Nobody can explain the Holy Scriptures but me. You got plenty of people out there that can explain law if they don't sit up and lie. I'm going to show you an example. What happened with Derek Chauvin today? Anybody hear about what they gave him? Huh?
He got 22 and a half years.
22 and a half. All right. That's a pretty good little while. That boy gonna be kind of old when he get out of there. But anyway, this is, you can learn something about the truth by checking the words out. As Jesus said to them, he said, "Oh, you generation of vipers, how can you, being so evil, speak all of these good things?" I'll tell you how. Because the knowledge that he got that from the same place that the prophets got what they got. He got it from the grantor of dominion. Huh? So, in order to make evil fair seeming, the man first had to get you to trust him. How he gonna get you to trust him? He gonna speak good things. Do you understand? And like if you want to catch a fish, you got to put something on there that he like to eat. Put something good to eat on there. Huh? Yeah. That's how he got us. That's how he deceived the world. So God set a mark upon Cain, lest anybody finding him would slay him. When them pilgrims got off of the Mayflower, let me see, what was it? The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria landed on Plymouth Rock and met the Native American. They said, peace. I mean, that's what it did. And the Native American befriended him. And after they learned everything they could from the Native American, they got rid of it as much as they thought they needed to in order to take over his land. And if the Native American had known who he was, he'd have killed him when he set foot on the land. But he didn't know, because God gave him a characteristic, a mark on him that you couldn't see him. Do you understand? He's right there in plain sight, and you couldn't see him. So, before I keep going, did someone else have a question? Okay. Now, when you look at the history of how America, the United States, when I say America, I mean the United States of the continent of America, because that's, you notice in the title of the official title of this country is the United States of America. And that's abbreviated because it should be the United States of the continent of North America. Huh? because Canada is on this continent too, right? Okay. So now, when they decided, now this is white people dealing with white people. Now listen, because this for all y'all that want to claim you so superior and that you so upright and that everybody else is a boo-boo hole nation, right? Ain't that what they champion said? Huh? While he was making a boo-boo hole out of this one. But anyway, let's get real. Let's be truthful. Let's tell the truth. King George was a white man. Who was King George messing over? Come on, you KKK people out there, you white supremacists out there. If white supremacy is really what you believed in, what did you have a Revolutionary War for? Come on now, King George wasn't no black man. King George wasn't brown. King George was not yellow. And I mean color-wise. King George looked like any other white man. And what was he doing to you? I noticed you wasn't so happy about white supremacy then. You said he's a tyrant. And we can't take this. And taxation without representation is tyranny. Give me liberty or give me death. That's right. Give you liberty from who? Not from black people. Not from brown people. Not from yellow people. But you thought you needed liberty from white people. Because white people was kicking you in your narrow behind. I didn't hear you. Why I say narrow behind? Because that's what you've had since you've been here, a narrow mind. And most of you never left that. You still believe in the lies that have been self-evidently proven to be lies. And yet you still parakeet them. Which shows you how really dumb you really are. So anyway, you said taxation. People taxing us and taking our money and won't let us have rights to have some say-so in what's done with it. That's tyranny. Huh? So you declared a declaration of independence. I might have copied it down somewhere here. Let me see here. I might have it. Let's see. The following, I ain't gonna read the whole thing, but this is your words against your own white king. To show you how stupid you are, George Washington, even when they tried to make him king, he said, no, I believe I might make a good king, but I fear those who come after me. Huh? We done been down that road before. We don't want no king. Huh? Because we know us. I tell you what, what's the first thing that the white man do when he dealing even with white folks? And they come to some kind of agreement. First thing he asks, you willing to put that in writing? Well, why I got to put it in writing? Because he know he ain't nothing but a liar. If you don't, I dare you. Yeah. So anyway, even the white man laughing. He know I got his name and number. So now, Declaration of Independence, a transcription. The following text is a transcription of the stone engravings of the parchment Declaration of Independence, the document on display in the Rotunda at the National Archives Museum. The spelling and punctuation reflects the original. In Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another. Now, understand something. The white people in the United States is the same white people that was in England. So they're dissolving something between them. See, this stuff here is pretty rich. It's deep. He said, because this is white people trying to dissolve relations with white people. You can't even get along with white people. You ain't got a hell of a nerve coming in here blaming all your low down ways and blaming all of the stuff that's going on wrong. You blame it on everybody but your low down self. Here's your history. It says, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitled them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, meaning freedom, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. What is the purpose of government? It's supposed to be to secure those rights. Huh? Not take them away. Deriving their just powers from the consent of those who they govern. Huh? Okay. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, now you better listen real good here, because this talking about you right now, white boy. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to effect their safety and happiness. I'm so happy that the Justice Department and many of the judges, it's just like Donald Trump was stupid enough to think that just because he selected or elected judges that was approved, that every one of them was like him, that every one of them was a crook, that every one of them didn't believe in the justice system that they been practicing all their life. He actually thought that those judges was his. Now, maybe some of them is, but not all of them. Because in the first place, they understand that in a monarchy, whatever power they thought they had is gone. They know that. You know, what do all men with power want? They want more power. They don't want less power. In a dictatorship, a judge ain't nothing but a figurehead. Talking about the king's word is law. In other words, you don't make law no more. The king makes the law. I know. Well, what does that say about lawyers and judges? If the king makes the law, well, you remember the little boy that had the baseball equipment and the ball, the bats, and the gloves and everything? If he didn't like the fact that he didn't get chose to be the captain or whatnot, what did he do with his ball and gloves and mitts and stuff? He took them home, huh? Left you there, couldn't play ball, so you had to give him his way. Is that right? Is that how you really wanted to live your life, up under the thumb of a tyrant? History already proves that white people don't want to live like that. That's what 1776 was about. July 4th, 1776. White people tried that already, and they didn't like it. Matter of fact, it got to the point where they said they'd rather be dead. But those who remember not the lessons of history, finish it.
They're doomed to repeat it.
There you go. They repeating it. At least trying to. But notice now, they had lived that way for 5,000 and approximately 600 years, 500 years. They had kings and crusades and all of that stuff. And they had empires and all that stuff. And it all came to nothing. They never was happy. They ain't never had no peace throughout their whole history. Never had no peace. So they glorified war. I remember when I was growing up, looking at Babyface Nelson, Machine Gun Kelly, Bonnie and Clyde, John Dillinger, Al Capone, and all of them. They was heroes. Billy the Kid. I remember in the Cowboys used to come out. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid was buddies, right? The bank robbers was the heroes. I mean, y'all something, man. They made evil fair seeming. Like Eddie Murphy said in the vampire come to Harlem. Evil is good. So, at the end of their time, almost, they got a civilized shot, as W.D. Muhammad put it, in their savage arm. Huh? They produced George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin. Men of conscience. Men who recognized that you cannot, on the one hand, fight a war to end white slavery by another name, tyranny, and then become a tyrant yourself. That's what Abraham Lincoln then was trying to remind them of. Man, we done became what we condemned. Somebody looked in the mirror and saw themselves. Huh? Somebody wasn't a vampire. You know, vampire can't see themselves. You know, it is, most people, they don't know why that the vampire in the movie is not able to see himself. That the reason he's not able to see himself is because in order to change the blood-sucking nature, what is it to work a man from dark to dark, to plant your fields, and he better not eat none of it, to build your house, but you ain't gonna live in it, to neglect his own baby and wet nurse yours. You do to that person the thing that you fought a war over because it was being done to you. You condemned it, and then you practiced it on others, which says that you didn't really condemn tyranny. You was just jealous of the tyrant, and you wanted to get in his position. You know, it's kind of like they tell you about the mob and the gangsters do. He go to war against another fella that's a crook, not because he hates crooks, but he wants to be the top crook. Do you understand? So you really didn't mean it when you said taxation without representation is tyranny. That was just something you said to get your game together and to make it look good in the eyes of the world. But regardless to whether you meant it or not, you did say it. And it is written that every idle, every false word that men shall speak, they shall give account of it in the day of judgment. Now, I want to say to the Justice Department, go get them liars. You got Giuliani on the ropes. Finish him off. He stood up and made all them lying statements and thought he wasn't going to have to account for them. Call him to account. The word of God says you can do it. Go on and do it. Go get every one of them. Now let's go back and prove what I said, that America was the beginning of something. You notice the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, on one hand, he condemned America. Well, he condemned them for the wrong they was doing to us. It's just like when somebody, let me show you something. When someone step on your foot, and you say, hey, man, you gonna say you excuse me or something? And if he said, well, excuse me, I didn't know it, man, I'm sorry. And you generally say, oh, okay, no problem, but, I'm wondering if you was gonna say something. But if he apologized for it, then you can let it go, right? Okay. Sometimes it takes more than an apology. Sometimes they break something of yours. Well, with an apology, you got to come on and say, well, look, what can I do to fix it? How much it costs? I'll replace it for you or whatnot. That's an apology. That's real. Do you understand? So you don't keep carrying it around. If they make amends and replace it or whatnot, it's the same as that it never happened. But in order to be willing to replace it, a person has to see their self and how they look through your eyes. They have to be willing to see themselves. You hear them now talking about they don't want the history of what they did to us taught in the schools. If you didn't want the history of it taught, you shouldn't have done it. You know what they're really afraid of? They're afraid that their children will learn the truth, and their children will be sorry that they had such low-down parents. I am come to set a man at variance against his father. Did you honestly think you was going to change that? If God said he's going to set them against you, he's going to set them against you. And the daughter against her mother. And the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. And a man's foes. You remember that Marjorie Taylor Greene, white woman, walking behind that young white man with a gun in her hand, asking him why he doing, what was that young man's name? I forgot his name. But anyway, and he just ignored her and kept on working against the low-down white people. Huh? In other words, I ain't buying what you selling. That's what that young man was telling. Young white people ain't buying what you selling. So when they read the Constitution, many of them can't believe how far off their parents are. Because you read the preamble, and then you look how they have misinterpreted the Second Amendment. That fool Matt Gaetz got up there talking about the Second Amendment is there so that if the necessary, the people can take up arms and overthrow the government if necessary. The Constitution's very preamble condemns such. The preamble says, we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect, more complete union, establish justice, ensure domestic peace. They don't want citizens rising up to try to overthrow the government. That's why the Constitution was drawn up. Because you don't have to try to overthrow a government that you don't like. Since you the one elected the government, you can unelect them. You can change it without violence. I'm actually saying things that all of them already know. They already know this. That preamble to the Constitution, I learned that in elementary school. Provide for the common defense, meaning provide for the defense of all American citizens. Promote the general welfare of all of the citizens, and to secure the blessings of freedom. The blessings, it's an S on there. Because along with freedom, blessings follow. That's why the scripture says, if you continue in my word, then shall you be my disciples in your deeds, and you shall understand the truth. And understanding that truth will make you free. Free from what? Free from anything that could break your peace. It will free you from serving a false idea or a false ideal, thinking that you are making some progress when what you're actually doing is destroying yourself. When you understand the difference in good and evil, and when you recognize evil no matter how it comes dressed or how it's presented. Well, if I bring you some dried leaves, some glue, and some confetti paper in a bowl and set it on fire and put it in your face and say, I want you to breathe this. And you said, nigga, is you crazy? That's what you said. You said, nigga, is you crazy? But now understand now, that's all it was paper, glue, and dried leaves. But what about if I bring you that same thing, rolled up, the paper, and roll up the dried leaves inside of it, and glue it, and say, here, light this and smoke this, breathe this. What they're telling you to do when they say smoke it? They're telling you to breathe it, right? Then you say, oh, sure, yeah, I'll try it. And the only difference was the way it was packaged. And you didn't have sense enough to realize that no matter how it's packaged, you're still getting the same thing. It's just like when you sit down and eat pig. I mean, you ever watch what a pig ate? I mean, the pig, it used to make my flesh crawl to hear slop. If you shake it a little bit, you hear it crackling. And then it kind of is slimy. And you get it, pig, that thing, you would think he's at a smorgasbord. And he just lap it up. Now you wouldn't eat that slop. But when you repackage it in the pig, you just eats it up. So the devil, that's what he do. Everything God said don't do, he tell you it's okay. Yep. So, gave you a religion that you can't find nowhere in the Bible. Talking about the Bible is your book and all that. Show me Christianity in the Bible. And I'll sit down. I'll stop teaching. Just show me Christianity in the Bible. Find that word, Christianity. Show me where Jesus taught Christianity. I can show you where he taught Islam. I noticed ain't nobody saying, show it to me. And I noticed you ain't said that. Well, I mean, it's in the Lord's Prayer. I mean, everybody know that's there. It said, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Look up Islam, entire submission to the will of God. Well, if you believe in entire submission to the will of God, you want God's will to be done. Is that right? You can always substitute the meaning of a word for the word and the sentence will still make sense. Instead of saying Islam on earth, thy will be done on earth. Huh? So, I got lots of people out there jealous of me. They don't want to serve Allah. They want to pretend to serve Allah so they can pass buckets and take up money from you. They ain't interested in being righteous. But to get back to what I was saying, that Jesus not only taught us that we would understand the truth and that truth would make us free. And once you are free, you can secure the blessings that go with it. Now, what did it say? And to secure the blessings of liberty, the blessings of freedom. So Jesus wisely said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, his understanding of his word. And all these blessings that you look for, the food, clothes, shelter, and all that other stuff, will be added unto you. You will secure those things. Huh? And so this is you can tell the Constitution, the preamble to the Constitution was the work of God through those people. What you thought? Allah gave a man dominion and didn't pay attention to what the man was doing? And when it came time for that man's dominion to end, dawn started happening. It started dawning on them. Hey, man, we run around here talking about some liberty and all that stuff. And look what we doing to people. We can't do that. Abraham Lincoln died, but he didn't die before he gave an address. He said, 87 years ago, 87 years ago, our forefathers brought forth to this continent a new nation conceived in the idea and ideal of freedom, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition, to the proposal, to the proposed position that all men are created equal. Why? God made all nations of men from one blood. You notice, you go to the blood bank or whatnot, if you need blood, you don't say, well, did this come from white folks, or did this come from black people, or did this come from yellow people, or did this come from... They just want to know the type of... Huh? They don't know. They don't care who it came from. God made all nations of men from one blood. That's why they used to call the black man, we used to call each other blood. What's going on, blood? Why we say that? Because it's the blood of the black man where everybody else came from. I noticed ain't none of you saying that. I told you every time I get headaches, I get more now. I start having them again. I had one today. So once I realized what was going on, I didn't mind the headaches. You understand? So all praises due to Allah. So the preamble to the Constitution lays out the very reason why it was set up. Now, I want you to read something with me here. Ain't nobody disagreeing with me, so I guess everybody agrees that I'm telling you the truth. Now, I want you to look up here. This is the 15th Amendment. Let me see here.
The right of citizens for their own representational purposes, right, to go to Congress, even though obviously the slaves couldn't vote, to the 15th Amendment in the wake of the Union's victory in the Civil War that declared the right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude.
Now I'm going to read it slow. It's the 15th Amendment to the Constitution. The right of citizens of the United States to vote. Notice, ain't no S on rights. It says the right. In other words, voting for a citizen is a right guaranteed by the Constitution. The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied, abridged. Let's look up abridged. I ain't gonna ask you to take my word for it, because that word abridged really gets into the nitty-gritty of it. Let's see here. Abridged. It says to reduce the length of, meaning to reduce the length of a written text, to condense, to limit or curtail. Shall not be limited or curtailed. Huh? Then what they're doing in Georgia, in Arizona, and all these other places, That they even trying to start something in Pennsylvania. Trying to do what? Trying to abridge the right to vote. That's not something that needs to actually be tried. The Constitution is very clear there. Shall not be abridged by the United States or any state on account of race, color, previous condition of servitude. I tell you what, I'd also like you to show us in the Constitution. If you say that you want people to have an ID to vote, while they are already on the voting roll up there, if their name is on the voting roll and they show up to vote, what they need an ID for? Are you saying that this is not a citizen? Because if they are a citizen, I ain't read nowhere in the Constitution where it says you got to have an ID to be a citizen of the United States. If you were born in the USA, according to what they've been telling us, you are a citizen, unless you are from there's if you are if it's the child of an ambassador or some foreign official, then you're not. But any other one, if you're born here, you already a citizen. And if you are a citizen, they ain't got no right to stop you from voting. Which makes you wonder, how in the world do you prevent prisoners from voting? And even when they went to jail, did the judge take away their right to vote? Did the Constitution say something about you can take the prisoner's right to vote from them? Did it? You still exercise an authority over them. Well, if you exercise an authority over them, then if the government is of the people, well, why don't you let them vote? You know, if you would let them vote, you'd be more careful how you treated them in there. You're a bunch of devils. The truth is making manifest just how wicked you are. And everything I'm saying has to do with what you've been doing. That's the 15th Amendment right there. Shall not be abridged. That's what it said. The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied. What is this? Purging people from the voter roll. What are you doing? How the hell you justify that? The Constitution condemns you for that. All of y'all out there that work for any company, when you get your paycheck, do you get the gross amount? Or do you get a stub that say what the government took out of your check? Well, they taxing U.S. citizens. Huh? You notice, don't nobody ask you for no ID when you go to buy something from the market and they tax you. They don't care nothing about no ID in there. Huh? When they're taken from you, they don't care about no ID. Just give up the money. Is that right? But when you want to have some say-so about what they're doing to you, in order to deny you the right to vote, they put up, that's, you notice, abridged is two words, add and bridge. And in order to, if you say add abridged, then you have created a gulf. You've created a gap. And you put a bridge over it, and the bridge is go get some ID. Go get the broomstick or the wicked witch or the where's that, and come back and see me. I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Well, they got the broom. Tell them go get two. Tell them get another broom. Yeah, got to have two brooms. She had another one in the closet. Get the jar of jelly beans out. Let them tell us about that. What is that to say? It's letting you know that these people that never was actually brought to justice for taking up arms against the United States and the United States government. They actually tried to destroy the United States. And just on their word that they would never again take up arms against the United States, Lincoln forgave all of them, which was foolish. Because they've been quietly trying to undermine the United States ever since it happened. Just like all of you running around here in the South here, flying them rebel flags. We know what you about. You don't give a damn about white people or black people that believe in freedom and equality. You wants to be a slave master. You wants to be a dictator. Ain't gonna happen, Cap. Your day to dictate to us is gone. And you gonna wish with all that was in you, just in a little while, that you had believed that I am the Lord. Explain to me how I know so much that you didn't teach me. Am I making this up? How I know so much? I told you, I'm gonna fix you. You mark my words, I'm gonna fix every one of you. Just like that boy today called me up disrespecting me. I tried to explain. I said, wait a minute, brother, you calling up here? The first thing you should have done was ask me, is that true? What somebody said. Calling up here with, and he just kept on ranting and going on. And so then when I throwed him in hell, then he asked me he's boasting of his knowledge of the Bible and the Quran. And when I told him, I said, well, I'm going to do what the Quran said, do to people like you. Cast into hell every ungrateful, rebellious one. And I cast him into hell. Then he want to ask me, where is that at? I texted it to him later because I felt kind of sorry for him. Oh, poor, pitiful thing. I didn't hear back from him, so I let him alone. I'm not here to beg you. I don't have to beg anyone for anything. whole lot of you gonna be back begging me for forgiveness. I'm gonna tell you just what the scripture said. I'm gonna tell you. When I offered you forgiveness, you offered me insults. So you are. Just remember now. I tried to warn you. You didn't pay me no attention. Let me read something to you. This is the definition of citizen. I asked the question: does being born in the United States make you a citizen? It said nothing about having some ID. Being born in the United States. Now, if you want to say people ain't got the right to vote, prove that they wasn't born in the USA or naturalized. But it's kind of hard to do if they show up at the poll and their name is there. Why are you asking them for some ID and they came there and told you I'm so-and-so? Now, if two people come with the same name, then put a check mark by it and fine them. That's where you do that. But you want to exercise tyranny over us. Soon you're going to be dying like flies. Because that's what you want to do to us. Okay. Am I a U.S. citizen because I was born in the United States? March 7, 2018. This is when somebody asked that. That's why I ain't the first one that asked. It says, being born in the U.S. in almost every situation, if a child was born in the U.S. or any one of its territories, they will automatically receive citizenship. Oh, I thought they had to have some ID. No, that's us abridging this. We want to abridge their rights, so we're going to require some ID. Well, they're on the voter roll. That name is on the voter roll. Have anybody else came saying they was that person? No, we still want some ID. Huh? Where in the Constitution does it say we got to have some ID? It just said you cannot abridge the right of citizens to vote. You better be glad I ain't the Attorney General. Because I tell the president I'm going to need the Army and the National Guard. Because I'm going to arrest these people that's playing around with our republic and our democratic process. All of them. I'm going to arrest every one of them that took part in this. They violated the Constitution. They violated the rights of the American people, and we swore to uphold the Constitution and defend it against all enemies, whether they are foreigners or people who are citizens or domestic. When they go against the Constitution, then we have to make them account for it, have to call them to account. Not let them think they can play around with the very document that is the backbone of the republic called the Democratic Republic of the United States of America. You know, I don't let people play with the word of God. Not with me. First thing I tell them, show me that in Allah's word where he said that. You remember that woman tried to tell me Muslim sisters ain't supposed to sing? And I said, okay, show me that in Holy Quran or in the Holy Bible. Show it to me. And if Allah ain't said nothing about it and against it, who are you? Since when do you determine what a Muslim sister or Muslim brother is or is not supposed to do? Allah's the only one determine that. You hypocrites. It says, in almost every situation, if a child was born in the U.S. or any one of its territories, they will automatically receive citizenship. The only exception is if a child is born on American soil and they are born to diplomats and other government officials from other countries. Yeah. You see, when you don't know what the Constitution says, people can tell you anything and make you jump through hoops and do things that the Constitution has plainly said no, you cannot do. And I'm going to tell you something. There's something else that I've heard lawyers say. If the Constitution is the law, a law that is not enforced is not a law. And if you say you live in a country that prides itself in the rule of not individuals, but the rule of law, well, then why you don't enforce the law and make all of these liars and hypocrites get out of the way of people voting? They ain't got no right to take away drop boxes and take away the people. They should be making it easy for people to vote, because that is the people's right. You know, if you had a program, if you had a platform that was actually going to benefit voters, you wouldn't have to be trying to stop them from voting. You'd be encouraging them to go vote, because you would feel that your argument will convince them that you are the better candidate. I knew that Joe Biden was going to make a good president. I knew it, because he had already made a good vice president. And it's something that you can see. And, you know, I care about people. So it's not hard for me to watch other people who care about people and recognize that I'm looking at a reflection of what's in me. Oh. Anyway, I want to let you hear something else. I remember they used to say of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that Allah and his messenger are like two arrows shot from the same bow. I didn't realize that I was one of them arrows until I got started in my mission. Then everything the messenger said about himself is true about me. You know, I remember he said, Allah told him, he said, brother, you have the hardest job of any man that ever lived. The job I have is even harder than the one that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had. Because at the time that he started, our people were hungry and thirsty to learn something. Back in the 30s, black people was forbidden decent schools and all of this kind of stuff. Black people were very dissatisfied. When I started, it was just the opposite. Most of you was already satisfied and thought you had arrived. You had all of these black millionaires and all of this stuff. And now I got to come teach you that we need to unite so we can have something. I already got something. That's what you say. And all you got is a whole bunch of nothing in your head. We had plenty of nothing. And yet, nothing was plenty for us. We were satisfied. Living for the weekend. What that song said? Living for the weekend. Huh? Yeah, that's all we do. Where the party gonna be this weekend, man? You got some people right now that I cannot pull out of that. As the messenger said, some of our people are so dumb that God himself can't help them. That's me. He told you wasn't nobody coming behind him but God. And if I'm not the grantor of dominion, why can't nobody produce an argument against me? Come on. Let's hear your argument. Last time, I let him come in here. Next thing you know, he in here dropping F-bombs. Huh? You're just that stupid. You give a fool enough rope, and what will he do?
He'll hang himself.
What did he do?
Hung himself.
Yes. What do you mean hung himself? That's all he's doing now, is hanging out there listening to me because I don't want to talk to him no more. He done already proved that he's a fool. He who knows not and thinks he knows and knows not that he does not know is a fool. Shun him. Before swine, neither give that which is holy to the dogs. I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's up, dog? Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I ain't got nothing to say to you. You ruined yourself with me. So, it's like people used to try to accuse us of racism. I mean, that's all kind of crazy stuff. Man, people will say anything if they think you dumb enough or gullible enough. You see, yeah, I used to play the dummy. Sometimes I still do, but I don't. It's kind of hard to find somebody who's stupid enough to call themselves arguing with me now. But anyway, I let people talk. Just let them talk. And the more they talk, the more they tell on themselves and thinking they're putting something over on somebody. Just because I care about you, you mistaking me caring about you for being stupid. And so, that's offensive to me. You know, and it reminds me of that song that Isaac Hayes made famous, even though he didn't write it. It was by Glenn Campbell, I think. By the time I get to Phoenix, when Isaac was saying that woman, she go to work and brag about her good thing. She said, "I got a fool, and I know got a fool. I got a good thing." Huh? So, but when he finally left, he said, "By the time I get to Oklahoma, she'll be sleeping, and she'll turn and call my name out low, and she'll cry then, just to think that I would really leave her. Because time and time and time again, I tried to tell her so." Well, that's a deep song. Anyway, they used to try to accuse us of being what you call racist, because we was talking about their racism. So in order to counter that, they tried to flip the script. So you notice they don't do that to me. You know why? Because I'll discuss it with them. They don't want to talk about it. They don't even want you to talk about the history of slavery in school, because it makes you see them for what they are. So, you know, I've watched this. I've watched them pull that stuff. You know, it's sad that people think everybody's a fool but them. That's what con men. They always think everybody's a fool but them. Huh? Yeah. And they really insult your intelligence. You know, this man, it's rich. Let's see. I like to bring things into focus. You know, and that's the one thing that I learned from watching white people. You know, a lot of times they will put truth in a fictional tale, and you have to be wise enough to grasp it. You know, fishing for truth in this world is like trying to catch fish. You know, you got to be watchful. You know, just like the internet. You know, you can get a whole lot of stuff on the internet, but you got to be careful what you put in your vessel and what you throw away. And if you are used to eating lies and consuming lies, you're gonna naturally throw the truth away. And that's just a fact of life. So I like to show people the truth. I ain't a person who try to lie my way through life. Because in the first place, you can't remember every lie you tell, any more than you can remember all the truth that you told somebody. But you don't have to remember the truth if you know the truth and you didn't speak nothing but the truth. If it comes back up, you're going to give the same answer and say the same thing you did before, because it was the truth. And it's connected, it's rooted into your mind. But when you lie, you make it up. So to call a man, to call a Muslim follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which I was when he was here, to call me a racist, it's laughable, you know. And in this little clip here that I'm gonna show you, I told you about it, but I'll show you.
Sure. They suggested I transfer to Austin.
Oh, I heard they were selling Austin.
Well, the point is, if I go to Austin, I lose everything. All right? My stock options, everything that I worked for.
Did you call anyone after the incident?
No.
Did you tell your wife?
No.
Oh, boy.
Why not?
Well, I didn't want to upset her. I felt guilty putting myself in the position in the first place.
How would you characterize Miss Johnson physically?
Well, she's very pretty. She was Miss Teenage New Mexico or something.
So you were kissing?
Yes. And then she began to rub me.
Rubbing you where?
You know.
Well, and for that privilege, it's going to cost you a minimum of $100,000. Do you not think it's a gain, Mr. Sanders? It's a gain to them. How do you feel about losing?
That's what Meredith wants, to resolve it quickly and quietly.
I'll have to try to find that spot where it gave me a little tidbit. Gave me a little tidbit of knowledge.
With a scandal like this, Conley going to bed with Katie Couric, waking up with Jessica Hahn, Garvin is out $100 million.
I think we might make a plaintiff out of this guy yet.
Not a plaintiff, just a potential plaintiff. I don't have to sue. I just threatened to sue.
New Mexico, and you said no.
Sexual harassment is not about sex. It is about power. She has it, you don't. If you sue, you'll never get another job in the computer business. If you don't sue, they'll bury you in Austin. If you sue, it's news. If you don't, it's gossip. If you sue, nobody will believe you. If you don't, your wife won't. They will make your life into a living. You hear?
I want to know what my options are.
What your options are?
I want to know whether I can sue her for sexual harassment.
Well, to do that, you'd have to convince a jury that you were alone in a room with Miss Teenage New Mexico, and you said no.
Sexual harassment is not about sex. It is about power. She has it, you don't.
Yeah, it is. Now, he was being accused by his boss of sexually harassing her, and she was his boss when she actually was guilty of doing that to him. Now, here these people have practiced racism on us for 400 years, enslaved us and did everything, because they had power. They owned this country, and they owned us. Do you understand? And now when we decided, this dog will hunt, you don't own me no more. I'm God's servant, and I'm declaring my freedom from you. And then start telling him about what he done to us. And he said, oh, you're a racist. You're a racist. When did I have the power to practice racism in this country? Who I've been practicing racism on? Come on, unmute your phone, white folk. Tell me when I practiced racism on you. You still practicing it on us now. when you can get away with it. So you know, I mean, it's sad. But yeah, you heard what the woman told Michael Douglas. Said sexual harassment ain't about sex, it's about power. She had it and you didn't. Do you understand? Yeah. So that's what racism is about. Someone in power exercising unjust injustices against someone who they had power over. See? So we got all kind of evidence that we could use on people who falsely accuse us. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Huh? That's why I told you, if I hear you lying on President Biden, I'm going to cast you in the hell. Now, that don't mean if I hear you say something bad about him that he's guilty of. If he's guilty of it, well, he got the answer for that. That's him. But if I hear you lying on him, misrepresenting him, purposely, I'm going to cast you in the hell. You suit yourself. If I ain't nobody, that don't mean nothing to you. And it shouldn't. But if I am the Son of Man, you've been warned. Yeah. So you're already a fugitive. That's what the Lord said of Cain when he made him. When he killed his brother. He said, a fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. A fugitive is somebody who's running from justice. Justice ain't caught up with him. Just like right now. What is he doing when he say he don't want certain historical truths to be taught in school? He's actually obstructing justice. He's trying to stop witnesses from telling the truth. Huh? He's scared that when his children hear that, they ain't gonna like him so much. It's gonna change the way they look at him. And they're gonna realize that it ain't the black man that's been wronging y'all. It's your parents that's been wronging us for so long that they think that even if we just protest, because there was a time when the slave couldn't do nothing but grit his teeth and bear it. He better not say he don't like what master did. They teach him a lesson. And when they said teach him a lesson, that was symbolic talk. No, what they meant was, let's make an example out of him so that lesson will be learned by the others to be afraid to do what he did. But Patrick Henry, when he had nerve enough to say, give me liberty or give me death, Patrick Henry and all of y'all came out of us. What made you think that wasn't in us? That sentiment wasn't in us when it was in you. That's why Medgar Evers did what he did, regardless if it cost him his life. That's just another way of saying, give me liberty or give me death. Huh? And once a man is not afraid to die, he's no longer afraid to be a man, to live. As long as you're afraid to die, you're afraid to live. And you're no good to yourself, nor your family, nor your people. There's nothing wrong with dying for a just cause. And therefore, it's nothing wrong with living for a just cause. And the only ones who would want to take your life is unjust people. And they got theirs coming. Don't worry. Ain't now one of you gonna get out of this life without being paid in full. Ain't no more reward after you die. You get your reward while you live. Let me let you hear the Honorable Elijah Muhammad telling you some things.
By nature, he is afraid of the black man. He is afraid he may miss and you will kill him. So if you get one of them, the other should get him. So he brings the whole army. Right here in the city of Chicago, find out that you're a brave man over in your home. They get the whole police department to go and surround that area. They don't be called for the National Guard. Come on. You see all of this, brother and sister, going on in you. Sometimes you do it just for the sake of them. And you do it just because you love the white man in his world. I regard Master Farad Muhammad, whom we learned that name from himself, as the Bible teaches you that he had a name that no one knew but he himself. Mahdi is his real name, so he taught you. Mahdi means one that is self-taught. In Arab language, is one that is self-controlled and controls others. Guide for others.
I think that you need to be brought to light, brother. I think you need to be brought into the understanding where the Holy Quran says that your, or in other words, your raising is only like that of a single soul. Where's that? 6 of the Holy Quran. And I didn't hear you. Come on, brother. You got a microphone.
20th verse.
Chapter 6. No, it's not. Your creation or raising is only like that of a single soul. Chapter 31. That sounds better. 31 and 28th verse. It says, your creation, or in other words, your raising, is only like a single soul. Surely Allah is the hearing one, the seeing one. Allah is the head, in other words. Now, understand something. How is a single soul, and which is a physical human being, how is it like the creation of a spiritual body? Oh, you notice when conception takes place, a thick clot is formed. A cell, a beginning is there. And then it begins to multiply. They call it a blastocyst. You know, that's the fastest growth that we have is when we are first conceived. Because in 3 months, we are actually a little human being, a little fetus that just has to grow and mature. But that's a lot of stuff done in 3 months. And so you notice Jacob was one. He was one man, one mind that was Jacob. And it had a prophecy of him wrestling with a man. They wrestled with Jacob. Jacob fell asleep, and they wrestled with him a man. He laid his head down and he was wrestling with a man. And that's all a symbolic thing, that Jacob would wrestle with the man that God said he was going to create, of sounding clay, of black mud, fashioned into shape. Jacob was the mind that was devil and deviser of tricks and illusion, and would wrestle with that mind that was going to be created and made into a human being. And so Jacob, he began to multiply and be fruitful like that one cell. When it was conceived, then it became a blastocyst, and then it became a embryo, and then it became a fetus, and so on and so forth. And so Jacob wrestled with the prophets and whatnot, and they didn't overcome him because it wasn't time. And remember, the devil said when he saw Jesus, he said, "Jesus, thou Son of God, art thou come hither for to torment us before the time?" Jesus said, "Well, hold your peace and come out of me." And he said, "If you're going to cast us out, let us go into the swine." And there was a herd of swine feeding. And the swine, when the devils went into them, they all ran down into the sea and drowned themselves. Suicide. But that's all talking about people who will imbibe or will consume lies and wind up being self-destructive. But anyway, sound familiar? But anyway, let's go on. And so Jacob, when he didn't overcome and day was breaking, okay, no more time for darkness. Once the prince of darkness, which was Jacob, the mind that he had put in his people, became, once the time for darkness was gone, the man that he was wrestling with said, "Day is breaking, let me go." You know, go down there and tell Pharaoh, I said, "Do what? Let me go. Let my people go." And he said, "I'm not going to let you go until you bless me." Well, we had put a curse on it. You see, that's why white folks, they were smart not to let us go, because the Son of Man would one day be born here and take that curse off of them and off of the world by teaching you the truth and teaching them that at the end of the 6,000 years, we wasn't talking about killing your flesh. Your flesh ain't had nothing to do with what you was doing. The mind that was in you, that's what's got to be killed. And that's what we're doing. And those who don't let me change their mind and give them a new mind, as the book says, let this mind be in you. Let this new mind be in you that was also in the holy prophets, in Christ. And if you don't let me put this mind in you, the mind that you have is going to be destroyed, and you're going to be walking around a mindless idiot. But anyway, you're going to be put to death. You're going to be put out of your mind. So it's like many people, they don't believe me when I'm teaching this. And so they do things, they disobey and do things that are, like I said, if you don't stay behind me, I can't help you. Now, so Jacob, when he said, I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. He said, what is your name? He said, Jacob. He said, no, your name is Israel now. Why? Because you done became a nation. You done became a great nation. You done filled up the earth with that mind that's in you, and you have transferred it throughout the earth. As by one man, sin entered into the world, and death by sin. Who is the man? Who was the death entered in by? By Adam. By that first mind that God added to us. Added to, you notice, you have add, am. Huh? You notice, we say, tell him I am that I am. Okay, well, now we added something to the id of man, to his being. And so we had two things to add to him. We had to add the knowledge of the natural creation and then the knowledge of the spiritual creation, which would make him a whole man, a whole new man. And so we call him Adam. So now, when you look at what the white man did, what was added to him, he added to everyone else. The knowledge of the what you call physical matter of the universe. If you be honest, the books that contain the elements and the name of them and the number of them was written by white people. They gave us all of that knowledge. They have taught us about the geological makeup of the earth and all of these things. And you could test most of it is true. They, as far as the age of the earth, they way off on that. But how would he know? He just got here 6,000 years ago. He don't know how old the earth is. When he say the earth is 4 billion years old, he don't know. Yes, the earth is 4 billion plus. The earth is 78 trillion years plus. This earth have been around here for eons and eons, according to the way we count. But in the scheme of things, the earth is new. It's not even finished yet. Because man on it is not finished. So it's not finished and perfect until we are perfect. Do you understand? Okay, so we've been perfecting this before we go out and perfect and carry that perfection out into the universe. So we had promised him that at the end of his time, 6,000 years, that we would remove that curse from him. As we told him, on you is a curse until the day of truth, the day of judgment. And so now you in the day of judgment, and we removing the curse that of an ignorant mind that when it comes to spiritual things. So that's why you don't see them with their false religions, all these people with all these different religions. You don't see none of them coming in here trying to argue religion with me. Because his religion didn't come from the creator, it came from himself. They got female divinities, fetuses that came out of the minds of male, out of man. Do you understand? So You know, your religion didn't come from God, it came out of you. The religion that I have comes from the truth. That's why the truth bears witness to what I say. The truth don't bear you witness. The truth condemns what you say. I'm the only one that the truth upholds. So, I offered you $50,000 if you could prove that I'm telling you not, that what I'm saying is not the truth. I notice ain't none of you taking that up. You ain't offered me nothing to prove that what you saying ain't true. I'd be the richest man on earth if people start offering me money to prove that they believe in something different than me and that it's not a lie. All that stuff you believe in ain't nothing but a lie. You know, that's what I was telling our brothers and sisters over in India that worship cows. You know that Hinduism, and makes the cow and believe in all this reincarnated people coming back as mice and all that kind of stuff. That's just foolishness. And I don't mean that as disrespect. I mean that you have erred. Allah gave you dominion over these things. He did not give you, no, there's nothing in the book that teaches you. There's nothing in reality that teaches you that people die and then reincarnate in animals. So you believe that, let me get this straight. You believe that evolution is not evolution, it's devolution, devolve. You go from high and you devolve into mice and other things. There is no higher life form that you can find on this earth or in this universe so far. There's no higher life form than man anymore. Then we say you pass. Most people don't understand what pass means. You pass from flesh and you become, sometimes some of us become memories. We become thought. Like Jesus. Jesus lives in me. Moses lives in me. David and Solomon. The only thing that's not here is their flesh that they came in originally. But the mind that was in them, their truth lives on. Do you understand? So it's not, they ain't going nowhere. If Jesus was standing here, what more would Jesus teach you than I'm teaching you? Come on, just explain it to me. Speak not of my servants as dead. They are alive and you perceive not. That's what Allah said. And that's the truth. You see, as I take the gospel and give you understanding of it, I'm doing what Jesus wasn't able to do when he was here. That's why he told you that when I come, I would guide you into all truth. Because it wasn't time for you to be able to receive and bear this. We bore the image of, or the imagination, or the mind of the earthly Adam. Because that's what time it was. It wasn't time to bear the image of the imagination of the heavenly. So the heavenly was spoken in such way that no one could understand it. It was sealed up. But Allah said to me, He said, I have set before you an open door. To him, the porter opened it. Huh? Yes. He gave me to eat of the hidden manna, which made me the hidden imam. Do you understand? So, just that simple. So now, I'm going to let you hear the Honorable Elijah Muhammad bring you into some more understanding of these things.
He's self-guided. My beloved brothers and sisters, controls others. Guide for others because he's self. My beloved brothers and sisters.
The reason he explained Mahdi that controls others. Well, that is why he had to first teach me who I am. And as he said, Islam is the black man's nature. Well, if it's my nature, then ain't nobody got to come and teach me. The nature or the brain that's in me is to take to the scriptures like a fish takes to water. That makes me self-guided. Do you understand? Okay.
Control and controls others. God that is self-power and that name from himself. As the Bible teaches you that he had a name that no one knew but he himself. Mahdi is his real name. So he taught.
You see, the messenger, he had to teach me that I would get it, but no one else would. That's why he told you, he said, I'm supposed to be designed by Allah. He said, he said, we don't object to you going to the God that you believe in. But I hope that when the day comes, that Allah won't miss throwing you over in the middle of hell, who rejects your own. Not on the outskirts of it, drop you over in the middle of the lake of fire. Because salvation come to you, and you rejected it for the fire. He said, I won't make no mistake, because I'm supposed to be designed by Allah to enter hell, who rejects your own. You see, it's just like when what he was saying just now. People still thought he was talking about Master Farad Muhammad. He wasn't talking about Master Farad Muhammad there. He was talking about me. But you wouldn't know that because your memory ain't long as John was in the army. He told you that one of us would say B and we would have something different. But you didn't pay no attention. You too busy making noise, clapping.
Mahdi means one that is self-power. In Arab language, is one that is self-controlled and controls others. For others, because he's self-guided. My beloved brothers and sisters, I have learned enough from God in which you don't hardly know. And stand here and talk with you, which I love to do till tomorrow this time, if you would like to do it. I will keep you fully awake. You stay here. As a very little of God's creation that he have not taught me something about it. because he put me as his second self. This is what I am. I am the second self of God Almighty.
Hey, Elijah, you don't need me anymore. I do need you. But who knew best? He made the messenger his second self. The scripture could be fulfilled where it says, behold, I will send you before the coming of the Lord himself. Huh? Why? Because Elijah is going to raise up that widow's son. Huh? The black nation is a widow. All of our leadership was murdered. All of our husbandmen were killed, died. Since the fathers fell asleep, since the fathers died, huh? The black nation have been a widow. But the widow produced a son, huh? And you remember the son of the widow died, and Elijah had to raise him up. But anyway, there is much in the scriptures that talk about us. And so now I'm raised, and the messenger was the second self of God Almighty. And so it takes God to raise God. Do you understand? And so it takes a mind that grants dominion to raise up a greater mind that grants dominion. Do you understand? As the messenger said, that God lives and rules all the time, but not that same God. But one rose up a little wiser than that one, and that's how the person of God continues. You notice, everything I'm teaching you, I'm the only one teaching it. I'm the only one who understands it. Until I give it to you, you couldn't have guided yourself to what I'm sharing with you. So, this is the end and the beginning. It's like most people, they never even thought about it. But the end and the beginning are the same thing. Most people, well, I'll tell you what, you take a piece of string. Well, ain't the end of the string the beginning of the string? I didn't hear you. Well, I am the beginning and the end. Oh, praises due to Allah.
What you hear the Muslims say in their prayers for the messenger, that he grant him that which he promised.
Now, understand something. And what I said, mathematical system that we designed. I said we designed. The black man gave you the number system. You didn't give it to us. We gave it to you. The number system was here a long time before you was born, white man, yellow, and brown man. System. And we understand the number system better than any of them, because the number system itself bears witness that I am the beginning. Why? What's the beginning of the number system of whole numbers? I didn't hear you.
1.
Okay. Now, what's the end of the units?
9.
What's at the end of it?
Another 1 0.
Another 1. And what's the end of the tens?
A 1 0 0.
Another 1. We always moving to a greater 1. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now you got it. Okay.
This is a little higher than stuff. I don't want to go in.
That's why we don't look back. The foolish, they look back at the last leader. because they didn't have sense enough to recognize the greater one that was right in front of them. Do you understand? As Jesus said, if you loved me, you would rejoice. Let's find it. I like to prove the things that I say. It says, people don't this is the 28th verse of the 14th chapter of John. You have heard how I said unto you, I go away and come again unto you. If you loved me, you would rejoice because I said I go unto the Father. For my Father is a greater one than me. Huh? See, we always know that the greater is the one we're looking forward to and not the one that's behind us. I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
The one that's behind us, even the way you have the general orders, they got that from us. To quit my post only when properly what? Relieved. What did John say when Jesus came up? He said, I must decrease. He must increase. John was satisfied. I got my relief is here. Huh? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was satisfied when he recognized that I was awake. He said, oh, come on in, brother. Come on in here. Huh? Have a seat. Sit him down over there. Put a crown on him. Huh? He said, this is it. And he was laughing and happy. And then come to find out they didn't want me. Well, okay. That ain't gonna stop nothing, because he also told you that Allah said, if you will not submit, he will raise up a nation that will. I'm raising up a nation that will submit. So you ain't stopping me. You stopped yourself. I would have gave you everything.
That because he have told me something of that, and he told me to wait. And if you're not taking this lease so well, how could you take credit? I thank you, my beloved. And if there's anyone would like to join up with your God and with your people, he'll come and give the name to the secretary. And he will write you down with just that people. We are that people. We are the people directly from God. We are the people that got his message. I have his message that the prophets didn't get, not the prophets that didn't understand. Moses, from him on till Muhammad, there is no prophet, including Jesus, that understood the things that is coming about today. They have told you in black and white. Moses told you in black and white. Jesus told you in black and white, and told you to wait for that one, that God will send from himself. Well, I am the first one since the creation that the wise God of creation have seen. Some of you, knowing my humble origin here among you, can't believe these things, though it's written. But I tell you, And the time will come when you will believe. You can't get away with this proud stuff saying I won't believe in that. And it's being the truth. The God of truth dwells among us in person. You won't get away with it today. You say you don't believe it if you want, but he's not to be overcome.
Come in here and I claim to be. I can't be overcome. So come in here and overcome me with your wisdom.
Now that which he has put out to be overcome. This message, you can't overcome me. No. You can't do it. You can't kneel on no tree like you did to Jesus. You can't destroy me back here behind me. Nor can you destroy me on the side of me. Nor can you go in front of me and destroy me. I'm not making no boast, but God fixed this up.
Think you're gonna do to me? To show you how wicked you are, I gave you the opportunity to tell people what did I do to you that you so angry with me? What are you mad at me about? What have I done to you? I notice don't none of you ask me what you done did to me.
Protected around him. We know it was Jesus because Jesus was destroyed at the hand of murder. But the last one, you can't do that. The Holy One yet teaches you that God sends two in front of him, destructive angels, these is destroying angels. He sends two of them in front. Then he has on each side of it, and then one behind him. He's in the circle of power. This is the man standing. For 42 years, enemies have trailed to kill me everywhere I go. Holy One tells Muhammad that we make an enemy for you in every town. And Muhammad knows this. But he's not afraid of this. Because God has given him power over the wicked that they cannot approach him with murder. They fail. He did that by raising up in my own house, my own brother enemy, like Cain was Abel. Yes, sir. But he failed to get them. To make, but they can't do it. Yes, sir.
You better live. This what's in store for all of you that think you.
myself, but it is Allah who protects me. And Muhammad believes in his God so well that he says, under the name of David, I walk through the valley of death. I fear no evil.
You remember when they was, God is with me and I'm hiding from. You ain't gonna do nothing to me that Allah don't let you do. I ain't read nowhere where Allah said he's gonna let the devil overcome the Son of Man. He sent me with the guidance and the religion of truth that I may make it prevail over all the religions. And you see, I'm doing it. I don't hear you. Produce a religion that I can't prevail over. Come in here and talk about it with me. Let me plug up this phone. I unplugged that computer phone. I forgot I had it unplugged. Let's see. Got people sometimes think they got something that I'm supposed to be scared of. You ain't got nothing that scare me, boy. Allah's the only one that scare me. And as the messenger said, the black man's nature make him to tremble in fear at time when he know he far off the path. Because that's his nature. Huh? Well, that's the truth. I fear Allah. Somebody tell me Allah said so, and I listen just like I would if when I was a little boy and they came and said, Daddy said. If they put Daddy said in front of it, I don't care what I was doing. I stopped and listened. So I didn't want nobody to go back and say, Daddy, I told Marvin he didn't pay me no attention. Shoot. Nope. You ain't never had to go tell Daddy I didn't pay him no attention. And ain't nobody can ever say to Allah that I didn't pay no attention when they recited his word to me. I don't care what scripture it comes from. The Bible, the Holy Quran, it's all the same to me.
Many of you know that you have seen me driving up and down the streets of Chicago. Yes, sir. I wasn't afraid of nothing and don't fear nothing yet.
No, you sure don't. Allah is my bodyguard, and he's well able to deal with whoever think they're going to do harm to me.
The only thing I fear is he that has made me and has risen me up and given to me this job to rise you up. That's the only one I fear. I don't fear your plan. You can plan all your things until you go to sleep and wake up and go back and plan some more and go to sleep. That's why he said that he walks through the valley of the shadow of death, but don't fear no evil because he has God on his side.
It's just like walking around here. These Christians, bunch of old crazy people that think somehow that they white skin is a badge of do what you please badge to whoever you please. You gonna wish a lot of you already wish you was black. I'm warning you. You better straighten yourself up. All this racism and unjust behavior that you condoning, okay, just remember, it's written, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. And as thou hast done, so shall it be done unto you. The cup she hath filled, pour it back on her.
And God is powerful enough to take the power of an enemy away from him that he had to lie.
And I want to warn some of you all also. You're gonna regret mocking us, treating friendship with disdain and disrespect. Allah said he would pay you back your mockery. All right.
Muhammad, he showed me that before my face. Dropped them right before my face. They're unable to do what they trail me. And they fall. Just their step to death itself. Can't even move. Can't even blink their eye. I think that God.
Something. A mission. I saw black, white, kind of people walking around, couldn't blink their eyes and couldn't speak. And when I asked what's wrong with them, the answer came from Sister Nadine, who was walking with me. Allah let her walk with me because we was seeing each other at the time. And she said, excuse me. I said, what's wrong with them? She said, these are your brothers and sisters who rejected Islam. And I know it wasn't her talking. Allah was speaking to me and testing me to see if I was what I needed to be. And so I felt sorry for them. I said, I felt sorry for all of you. And she said, what? Now, I ain't said nothing. She said, what? You going back with them? I said, if that's where I belong, the vision was over. And it was at that time I accepted this mission to try to save you. So that's what I'm trying to do. And even the way that you see me fussing and going on, that's written. It said, for all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Huh? Have not I lived that with you? Okay. Keep taking it for a joke. Keep taking it for mockery. You're going to regret that one day.
Yes, I can't even open his mouth. No, blank his eye. Never have said a word, yet wasn't able. I stand there before him for him to say what he thought to say and he couldn't say. My tongue was locked in the roof of his mouth and his eyes were set and couldn't blink itself. This boy have been before all this. Oh, brothers and sisters, plenty more I can tell you what happened here and there. Two people that tried to rid me of my life for teaching them righteousness of yourself, which they were jealous. And they tried to treat.
Didn't I tell you they was jealous? That's all. They just teach what they cannot teach. And this, I mean, a lot of them explained it all to me. I know what I'm looking
at. Same treated evil. Yep. But I'm still here. And these are some of the powerful words he said to me. He said, yes, brother, it'll come to pass. And if you put them out, after not one of them that you put out, he's just out there, unless you go back and get him. So I went home and I began to think. I said, this teaches me that I better be careful who I put out. I said, because I may not mean that the person stay out forever. But that's what he told. And the Bible teaches you that God will accept the judgment of that servant, that last one he chose. And in some places it said, by him the heavens was built. He is the one who designed the heaven that you're going. And he bade me that. He said, brother, whatever you want, and it'll be given to you. I say you have a mighty good fellow in me. But I can also say that in cold weather, if we play with it. Yes, sir. Not play with a good fella. Try to be good with him.
Okay. Well, you better take me serious. And you better take what I'm teaching you seriously. So you suit yourself. I'm talking to white people. I'm talking to black people and brown and yellow people in America and outside of America. You had better get behind me. A day is coming when you're going to want to and you ain't going to be able. The die going to be cast. Okay. Don't say I didn't warn you. If you think you in some place that is unreachable, you don't forgot. Allah just showed you. He can send a host that you never even see and wipe you out. You see how quick this virus spread it all over the planet? Ain't through with you yet. Okay, keep clowning. You who taking things that don't belong to you, you better return them. You know who you are. You can't take other people's property. I expect to see it tomorrow. All right. We want to remind all of you that if I hadn't told you who I am, and hadn't shown you that I was doing what is prophesied of me, you may have had an excuse. But I took your excuses away. And all of the things that you thought that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching, that you thought you could condemn, you have heard me stand up here and tell the white man to his face that he the devil, and defy him to come in here and say that I'm lying on him. So he ain't saying nothing. I respect that, because it shows that he knows when time for his foolishness is up. Now, you who've been worshiping them, you ain't got no excuse now. I told you that the religion that he gave you is a lie. The Bible is true, but the understanding that he gave you of the Bible is a lie. You don't hear him saying that ain't so. You don't hear no pope. You don't hear nobody. So you got no excuse. Now you want to keep on being the devil yourself? Just remember, the devils that's in your brain, them ain't white people's devils. Those are yours. Your devils are your evil thoughts. Your devils are your wicked thoughts. Your devils are things that you got to resist. I can't be your keeper. You got a keeper. It's called a mind, a brain. I'm giving you the armor that will enable you to resist those evil thoughts that you have. It ain't my fault if you refuse to take these thoughts in, so that you will be able to resist the evil thoughts with the help of the good ones. So you suit yourself. They used to have a little cartoon that come on from time to time, and they'd have the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder, and both of them whispering to the person. And the little devil would attack the angel and tie him up or something. But in the end, the devil lost. Okay. And the devil even telling you in the end he gonna lose. He know he ain't gonna win. So you suit yourself. You in this circle with me, you better try to stay in it. All right. All of you that's enjoying yourself, in having pleasure in evil, huh? Having pleasure in wrongdoing. Okay. Now remember, now there is a scripture that tells you about that. It's in 2 Thessalonians. You have pleasure in unrighteousness. It says, and for this cause, this 11th verse of the 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, and for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned, who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Okay, that's okay. So, if there are no questions, the time is about to run out on us, and so I'm gonna let you go. And if it pleases Allah, I will speak with you again tomorrow in prayer service. And I thank you for being respectful and not just wasting my time with foolish talk or foolish messages. And that tells me there's hope for you after all. And it also tells me that it ain't too late to save more people. Because Noah was told, it was revealed to Noah, Allah revealed to him, he said, none of thy people will believe, save him who has already believed. Okay, time is up, Noah. Go on in. because I'm finna drown these people. So, the mere fact that you're not insulting me and throwing old crazy statements at me anymore tells me that you are listening and that I'm reaching you. And so I pray Allah to let the grace period continue so that I can reach more. And well, I don't want to see anyone destroyed. You know, the body ain't the guilty one. If I can just get you to listen, I'll cast the devil out of you with the truth. We take truth and hurl it against falsehood, and it knocks out its brains, and lo, it vanishes. The truth has come, and falsehood must vanish. So don't give up on yourself, and I won't give up on you. Okay? All right. So may Allah bless us and keep us safe and in our right minds, and grant to us, each of us, victory over the wickedness that's in ourselves, and then over the wickedness that surrounds us. And grant you a peaceful and pleasant night's rest and sleep, and a happy, peaceful, and pleasant morning's rise. May Allah's Salaam Alaikum.